What is going on, y'all? Xavier here, and today I'm back with another Make Academy lesson. If you're just joining us, I'm documenting my journey from complete beginner to running my own AI automation agency. I'm following a 3-phase plan to get me there, but it all starts with mastering workflow automation. That's why we're speeding through these lessons. We're almost done with the basics section. We just finished learning about numeric aggregators. Today I'm covering Unit 3 of this aggregations course. We're getting into text aggregators. And then we'll wrap up this video with the 10-question end-of-course assessment. If you want the full breakdown of my business plan, I'll put that video up there, as well as in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into today's lessons. Okay, so Introduction to Aggregators, Unit 3, Text Aggregators in Action. Unit Introduction. Welcome to the final unit of Course 4, an Introduction to Aggregators. In this unit, you will explore the text aggregator and build your final use case of Make Basics. You will also be introduced to the Tools Set Variable module. Great job so far. Let's get started. All right, click Next. Aggregating text example. You have already seen what the numeric aggregator can be used for, aggregating and manipulating numerical data. Now you're going to look at the text aggregator. The text aggregator is useful for composing strings of messages from one or multiple sources and or multiple bundles. Let's look at an example. All right, so we got this scenario here. I'm gonna click on the Google Sheets Watch Rows module. This is sample data stored in a Google Sheets containing several fields for a repair service. It contains the customer name, the service they had, car registration, date of service, cost, and their phone number. For the sake of this use case, we want to send the list of services performed in one single message. However, when we read the Google Sheet, it returns multiple bundles. So how could we aggregate the service column into one single text? The solution is the text aggregator, okay? Then we have this text aggregator tools module. The text aggregator is used to map the services fields into a single bundle, along with the name and cost. The reduction stage will aggregate this into a single bundle of information. This bundle can then be used to send a message to any messaging service, such as Slack, Telegram, SMS, etc. Cool. So yeah, here's where we're trying to group certain information in our aggregator, in our text aggregator, and basically take certain information out of the group of bundles and put it into a single bundle. That way we can send it off and only send off the information that we want. So I'm gonna click Next. Upcoming use case. Let's build on that basic use case and review the upcoming scenario that you will build over the next few pages. The aim of this scenario is to create a message with the help of text aggregator and functions. Okay, so we have a weather module. This scenario will follow the same concept as the previous unit. Your module will generate a bundle of data that contains the weather for 7 days. This will use the weather app and the get daily forecast module, okay? Then we have a text aggregator. The text aggregator will process each bundle and aggregate it into the format that you specify. It then processes the next bundle based on what is defined in the row separator field. As the aim of this module is to present a list of the weather by date on separate rows, new row has been selected. All right, so it looks like we're just configuring this text aggregator module, and we're gonna have to put some kind of format date, looks like, or some kind of function, right? So let's see what else we got. And then we also have a set variable tools module. The set variable module will store the bundle that was produced in the text aggregator and allow you to name the variable so that it can be used repeatedly. Additionally, you are able to add additional fields to the variable, such as text, e.g. weekly temperatures. This will output the end result as weekly temperatures, aggregated text bundles for 7 days. Okay, let's get started by building this. So this set variable module seems like a placeholder, not a placeholder. Well, it says it will store the bundle and allow you to name the variable so that it can be used repeatedly. So it just kind of presents it, I guess, in a way that saves the previous information that we gathered. Yeah, I'm not really sure the full purpose of this module here. But the scenario seems simple enough. So let's hit Next so we can see where they want us to start. Activity, building the scenario. Add the weather, get daily weather forecast module. Under days, select from today, tomorrow, all the way up to 6 days from today. Under city, type your location, click OK, then click Run Once. As it returns 7 days worth of information, this will generate 7 separate bundles. All right, we're just setting up this weather app that we did last unit and running it. So let's do that real quick. Create new scenario. I'm gonna name this one text aggregators, like that. We're gonna add our weather module, daily weather forecast, and we're selecting from today all the way to 6 days from today. Input your city and click save. Run once, and now we have our 7 days worth of data outputted. Let's see what we gotta do next. Next slide. Add a new module. Type tools. Select this option and then select the text aggregator. When the text aggregator loads, it will show the source module as weather get daily weather forecast. Select show advanced settings. This will give you more options for use for the aggregator. This will give you more options for the aggregator. Okay, so we're adding the text aggregator tool and just making sure the source module is the get daily weather forecast, which it should be. And then we're opening advanced settings. Let's see what else they want us to do. Under row separator, select new row. The row separator determines how your bundles will be separated in the aggregated text. For example, if you have 3 bundles which map the names Benjamin, Lisa, and Thomas and use row separator, they will appear as on top of each other. Selecting other allows you to determine what character to use to separate each bundle. For example, you can use commas, dashes, and slashes. So row separator, new row is just like pressing enter basically. So yeah, new row in this row separator. So let's add this tool, this plus sign, tools, down to aggregators, and we have our text aggregator right here. Add that. Source module is the get daily weather forecast. Great. And we're gonna go into show advanced options. And here we can see our row separator. So we're gonna add a new row, and I believe that's all we're doing right now. I'm just gonna save this. All right, and then I can click next. Activity, adding your functions. The next step is to populate the text field of the text aggregator. You will need to follow each stage of this exercise. So we got some bubbles here. Looks like we're adding a bunch of format numbers, date, temperature, and just some formats for the temperatures. And yeah, something here with this date. So let's click on this first one. The intended result of this function is to display the date at the start of the output message. Insert the format date function and map the date from the weather app. After the semicolon, type day, month, month. This is a new format date function. It will display the date in the following format, 13 April. So like the number and the first 3 letters of the month. If you choose to, you can use the day, month format, but this will display as 1304. Okay, so I'll just add these as we learn about them. So first, in this text field of the text aggregator module, we have to add this first format date function with this new date format. This is so that it starts off with the date before all of the other information. So let's go and add that in the tools text field. We're adding format date and time, format date. In the favorite tab, before the semicolon, we're adding the date. Then after the semicolon, the new format, which is day, space, month, like that. Easy, right? Click save. What's next? The intended result for this function is to display the minimum temperature to 2 decimal points. After the previous format date, type minimum and then insert the format date function. Map temperature minimum. After the first semicolon, type 2. After the second semicolon, type period. It should look like the image here. Right, so this minimum, the dash minimum colon, this will show up before the information that is a result of this function, right? So this is information that we learned a couple units ago. So if you remember, format number, then whatever we want to change before the first semicolon, and then after the first semicolon is the number of decimal points. Then after that semicolon is what you're using to separate those decimal points. So let's add this new format number after the first one that we just added. So we're going into tools again. Looks like they put a little space here for the dash, minimum, colon. Then we add our function, math functions, format number. For the semicolon, we're putting temperature minimum. After first semicolon, 2. After second semicolon, period. Make sure we get rid of this third semicolon, and that is it. Save that. And what else we got? So for the third one, we're also doing a format number, and it looks like the only difference is we're doing maximum. This function will do the same as the previous, but this time display the maximum temperature to 2 decimal points. After your previous function, type max, insert the second format number function, and map temperature maximum. After the first semicolon, type 2. After the second semicolon, type period. All right, so let's add this second format number in our tools. I'm gonna put a little space, and I'm gonna type max, find our format number. Cool, in front of semicolon, first semicolon, temperature maximum. After first semicolon, a 2. After second semicolon, a period. Delete the last semicolon, and we're good, just like that. Save it. Then we have one more format number function. Note that within a function, you can insert other functions. First type average, then insert format number, and within this function, map average. Within average, map temperature minimum, add a semicolon, and then map temperature maximum. After temperature maximum, with the closed parentheses, we should have another semicolon, and then type 2, and after another semicolon, type 0. These functions combined will first calculate the average temperature of temperature minimum and temperature maximum, and secondly, it will format the average number to 2 decimal points. Okay, so we're adding 2 functions, one inside of another, in this final function, right? So we have to go into our tools. After this last function we just added, I'm just going to add a space. I'm going to type average with a colon, and then we're going to add our functions, which the first one is format number. And before we put anything else in this format number, we have to put another function, also a math function, and we're putting average, just like that. So in this average function, we're going to first put temperature minimum, then we're going to add a semicolon, and then put temperature maximum. So that's the average function done. Now, still in the same function, we have to go close the format number function. So this close parentheses after the temperature maximum closes the average number function. So after that close, we go behind the next semicolon, and this will be the number of decimal points for format number. So we're going to put 2. And then after the next semicolon, we're going to put a period, just like that. Once again, make sure we get rid of this last semicolon, and the last thing that should be on this function is the close parentheses for the format number function. So I'm going to save that, and I'm just going to make sure to double check that it looks the same as this example here, and it looks good to me. So I'm going to save it and save the scenario, and then I'm going to click next. Activity, wrapping. Click OK. You will notice the text aggregator wrap the connection to the weather module. This is to visually indicate that fields are being aggregated from this module. This is useful for when you are building larger scenarios and may use multiple aggregators. Yeah, I noticed that in the previous video, that when you use this aggregator, that it, I guess, wraps with the module that you're aggregating from, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I'm gonna click next. Activity, viewing the output bundle. Click run once. You will receive a prompt which states a transformer should not be the last module in the route. This prompt appears because nothing is happening with the transformed data. As part of this exercise is about viewing data, click run anyway. This will execute your scenario. If you receive any error prompts, please revisit the previous page to ensure that your functions are correctly mapped. So now we get to run our scenario and hope we don't get any errors. So let's see what that looks like. Run once, run anyway. So it looks like we didn't get any errors. We got our output bundle of aggregated information, and it looks like our date format worked out. We got our minimum, we got our maximum temperature, and we got our average and our 2 decimal points. So it looks great here. We're not sending it to a spreadsheet or doing anything with that information yet, but it does look complete and accurate in our output bundle. And then you can see our input bundles are them separately. So yeah, looks great. Awesome. So let's see what else they got for us. I'm gonna click next. Activity, viewing the output bundle. Click the 1 on your output bundle. If the functions in the aggregator module match here, the output bundle structure will match the image. 7 days worth of dates and temperatures, all on different rows. Click any of the bundles under input. This shows the mapped information which was mapped through the text aggregator. There's one final step to add here. Click next to continue. Yeah, so looks great, looks the same. Yeah, I mean, we did it first try. So I'm gonna click next. Activity, setting a variable. Work through the final stages of this use case. You have your created bundle and it's in a readable format. The final step is to set a variable. A variable is a reusable element that will store a value, which can be customized and mapped within your scenario. Let's look at an example of how a variable works. Please type your name or a name in the text box on the left. This text box contains a variable called name, which will be used on the next page. So we're gonna type a name here. I'll just type my name, just like that, and then click next slide. Hello, Xavier. If you typed a name on the previous slide, you will see it reflected above. This is because we have used a variable to store what you typed. This hopefully gives some context around variables. If you're interested in learning more about variables, you can access this link in the Help Center. When you are ready, move to the next step and we'll add the final module to this use case. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, it took my name, put it on the next page. It saves the information, right? Click next slide. Add a new module and type tools and select the set variable module. For variable name, type message. Under variable value, type weekly temperatures, and then map your aggregated text on a new line. The aim here is to create a single bundle that can be mapped. So this makes it so that the aggregated text is mappable, basically. The text aggregator tools module that we took, we can't do anything with that information. It gives us an output bundle, but it's not, we can't take that information and just easily map it into a different module unless we have this variable module, right? So we're adding the variable module. For variable name, we're typing messages. Under variable value, we're putting the weekly temperatures, and on a new line, we're putting text. So let's add that real quick. Add new module, tools, set variable. Variable name is going to be messages. And then in the variable value, we're putting our title, which is weekly temp, and then press enter and add our new text that we got from our text aggregator. And I'm gonna click save. See what we got next. Click run once. Your scenario will generate the weather for the next 7 days. The aggregator will perform aggregation based on the conditions set in the text aggregator module. The aggregated text is set as a variable named message containing the additional weekly temperatures text. Your output bundle should share a similar structure to the image, but with different dates. A nicely formatted and aggregated variable. Let's see if our scenario is working properly. Click run once, and yep, looks awesome. We have our output bundle with the messages field. So I'm assuming now that we have this messages, say like I wanted to put this in a spreadsheet just for kicks, just add some quick information here. If I wanted to map something, right? I could get the messages. Yeah, see, now I could map these messages, and anything that we had in the messages that we set as messages will populate, and we don't have to we don't have to put all that information in here. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really helpful, really, really cool stuff that we're doing here. It's just making it easier for us. We're just making things easier to make bigger scenarios quicker and more efficiently, right? This is very bare bones stuff here, but you could probably already see how this can be implemented in multiple different areas. Let's see what else they got for us. I'm gonna click next slide. Well done. You have created a custom piece of text utilizing a text aggregator and a variable. Depending on the messaging service you use, you can now easily map your set variable as a message, and Make will take care of the rest. For example, utilizing Slack would look like the image on the left. This concludes this scenario and this unit on using the text aggregator. Great work, Xavier. Yeah, so they're trying to be all slick and use my name and everything. I don't like it. I'm gonna click next, and that's the end of the unit. So now we have a understanding of text aggregators, using functions with text aggregators, and what a variable is and how it can be used. Now we're done with this course. We just gotta do the end of course assessment, and we'll be all done. So I'm gonna click mark this task as complete. Yeah, let's get right into it. So let's see question 1. Which numeric aggregate function would you use to find all the employees who are younger than 35? Okay, let's see. We wouldn't use average. Sum is adding together, so we don't use that. I guess we could use minimum, but okay, we're only choosing one. That's the answer. So I'm gonna go with count. Let's go. All right, cool. Which of the following aggregators are available in Make? No, we got this one. There are array aggregators. We don't know what they are, but I know they exist. I don't think function aggregators is a thing. Numeric, text, and set variable an aggregator? I don't think it's an aggregator. It didn't say it was an aggregator. I'm not gonna say it's an aggregator. Let's go. How are aggregators used within Make? To merge bundles of data into a single bundle. Awesome. What is the purpose of aggregation? Combining a single variable into multiple? No. Combining multiple variables into a single? Yes, that's it. Cool. Which aggregate function would you select to calculate the largest amount paid at a company? I'm just gonna say max. Oh, what is the text aggregator useful for? Merging several bundles into one single bundle, performing various operations on numerical data, or composing a string from multiple sources and bundles. I think it's that one. See, cool. All right, so far so good. Which numeric aggregate function would you select to calculate the average salary at a company? Obviously, we would use the average function. Cool. Question 8. Which row separator in the text aggregator will display the output bundle shown here? So in this output bundle, it looks like they did new row. It might be tab, actually. No, I think new row because it's below. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with other because maybe it's double space. I don't know. Honestly, yeah, new row. See, because these ones are like super spaced. When I did new row, they didn't have this gap, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. I picked new row first. I should have went with my gut. Anyways, next. Which of the following are aggregate functions on the numeric aggregator? Okay, I got this. We got average, ceiling, floor, format number, max. I think count might be in there. No, I'm not gonna put count. We got minimum, sum. I didn't see round on there either. I'm just gonna leave these two out and hope for the best. You're telling me seal was not a numeric aggregator? I know it was in there. I'm thinking of math functions, bro. That's crazy. All right, well, the right answer is average, count, max, min, and sum. Now we know. Last question. Which row separator option in the text aggregator would you select to display the output bundle shown here? I think they use this other and then just used a dash. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. We got 80%. We passed, boys and girls. Not the best, but they be throwing those curveball questions. So yeah, this one they used the new row separator, and numeric aggregators are not the same as math functions. So you should have known that. Why would you pick that answer? I can't believe you didn't know that. That's crazy. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you found any of this stuff interesting or you'd like to see more, please feel free to drop a like, comment your thoughts, or hit that subscribe button. That's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you in the next one.